cannot tell you how many times Trump supporters, MAGA people, Republicans who want to justify voting for Trump have asked me, what did Biden do when he was in office? He didn't do anything. He just slept all day. He blah, blah, blah. I wrote a list, but my list isn't what he did while he was in office. It's just what he's done since the election. The list of things that he has done is not even an exhaustive list. It demonstrates how active he was. Like, when he was in office, during his administration, he passed the PACS Act, the CHIPS Act, the American Rescue Plan, all of these things that helped people. He didn't pass a tax cut for the rich. He didn't do anything for corporations specifically that didn't benefit the people. He picketed on the line with the unions, which is why I don't understand why the unions were just like, Trump's our guy. Did you not see my man on the picket line? I digress. I'm just going to contrast that with Trump's rhetoric in the same time, because Trump said that he was going to do a lot of things. He said that, the prices were going to come down and inflation was just going to disappear and he was going to eliminate the debt and do all this and blah and all that. On the campaign trail, he was the economy guy. He was the reason why the country as a whole voted against their own interests, because they thought he would be good for the economy, because they were tricked into thinking, and I have no idea why the pundits did not correct the record when it came to the economy last time. And I know why the pundits didn't correct the record when it came to the economy last time, because the pundits are all rich. They all got a tax cut last time. So they were sitting fat and happy. And the tax cut that they got, that $3 trillion tax cut that they got, who do you think paid for that? Us. That is what was the start of the economy tanking in the first place. You don't like the economy that Joe Biden fixed? That Joe Biden was in the process of fixing? You don't like the inflation? You don't like all of the prices going up? My price of eggs? What started that chain reaction was the 2017 Trump tax cuts. Not for you and me. We didn't get nothing. It was for the corporations. It was for the people at the top. They got a tax cut. And because that revenue was no longer going into the American system, it added $8 trillion to the national debt. That's what he upped it by, was $8 trillion. And so people who say that they're concerned about the debt and concerned about, the prices and things like that, how did Trump's tax cuts affect the prices that we paid? It didn't, did it? So that lie that they tell you that if corporations pay less in taxes, then that'll trickle down to you is a lie. It's a lie that some of you continue to believe. It has never trickled down to us. It only stays with them. Why? Because they want to increase their revenue every single year. So they will fire people in order to do that. So my list of things that Biden has done just since the election, is pretty extensive. For one, he eliminated a additional $4.85 billion in student loans to have a total of over $175 billion in student loans have been forgiven during his term. Now, mind you, this is only 3.5 to 4 years, right? So $175 billion in student loans have been forgiven. That is more than any president, period. Next, the Social Security's Fairness Act. He signed that into law, giving people on Social Security an extra $360 per month in their Social Security funds. And I believe it made it so that people with pensions and Social Security do not get penalized for having those things, which was not a thing before. I didn't know that, but it is. Joe Biden also signed into law the Ocean Climate Action Plan. The Ocean Climate Action Plan pretty much protects parts of the ocean from oil drilling. So you don't have to worry about those parts of the ocean having oil spills or, creating waste that negatively affects the environment. He protected 625 million acres of ocean. So that's what he did for the environment as far as that. Now, a lot of people, on the campaign trail, Trump was like, we need to drill more and this, that, and the other and blah, blah, blah. Biden not only has been ramping up protections of the environment, but he has also been ramped up drilling as well. So for the people that liked drilling, he produced more oil here at home than we ever have. Our output has been bigger than it's ever have. Bigger than any president. At the same time, he was also ramping up regulations and environmental protections. So he had found a way to do both at the same time. So for you people who are like, yeah, we're not drilling enough, we were drilling more than ever. Biden barred medical debt from being on your credit report. He just did that. He just signed that into law. So if you get sick, your kid gets sick, your spouse gets sick, you guys incur a lot of medical debt, that cannot be used against you when you want to buy a house or when you want to buy a car or when you need your credit for something. It will not show up on your credit report anymore, ever. This is extremely helpful for families who have, family members with chronic illnesses and they are in perpetual debt because our healthcare system absolutely sucks. Very helpful for them. Very helpful for people who need care. Very helpful for minority communities, which perpetually ends up having credit reports that are lower in scores because of medical debt and things like that. So this will help with that. It is estimated that once all of the medical debt drops off of your credit scores should rise by at least 20 points. This is super helpful for those people who are right on the cusp of being, like they're 580 and need to be at 600, or they're 680 and need to be at 700, and they could be able to make that threshold now that they don't have that debt on their credit score. Biden also helped prisoners, commuting the sentences of 37 out of 40 people who were on the death penalty, federal death penalty, and he commuted them to life in prison. The only people that he did not commute their death penalty sentences to life in prison was the Tree of Life church shooter, Dylan Roof, who shot up the church in Charleston, those 9 people, and the Boston bomber. Those 3 did not get added. Why do I think that Trump would have had those 3 at the top of the list? I digress. Biden also confirmed 235 judges. That is one more judge than Trump confirmed in his administration. Biden also confirmed 63 Black judges and 40 Black women judges. This is actually pretty huge because that is the most any president anywhere have confirmed, period. And he did it in one term. The reason why that's interesting is because Obama and Clinton both confirmed 62 Black judges. However, they did it over a 2-term period. Biden did one more than them in just 1 term. So that was really nice. And it is going to be very important that we have judges who are diverse and judges that respect the law. Eileen Cannon, I'm looking at you. Judges who are not beholden to their criminal deity. Judge Eileen Cannon, I'm looking at you. Now, contrast that with Trump's rhetoric and Trump's actions right now. During the campaign, it was all about, we're going to bring prices down. We're going to, make this country great again. We're going to get more jobs and everybody's going to be happy and women are going to be protected, all this other stuff. Have you heard anything about any of that lately? Like the last interview that we saw from Trump was basically him telling the interviewer, I can't guarantee anything about tariffs not raising prices. And I can't, once the prices are high, it's very difficult to bring them down. That's what he told the Times. He's already backtracking on the prices because he already knows what he wants to do. His first order of business is to get Congress to pass a bill, a full budget bill. He wants everything in the bill at once, which they tried to cut it into 2. The tax bill being one on its own, and then the budget bill being one on its own. The debt ceiling being one on its own. Now, he wants to cancel or get rid of the debt ceiling. There are arguments for getting rid of the debt ceiling. One being that it really doesn't work. And it also is always used by one party or the other, usually Republicans, to put really bad things into bills, because those debt ceiling bills are must pass bills because they shut down the government if they aren't passed. And so what they've been doing is passing the continual resolution, but not an actual budget and not a debt ceiling budget or anything like that. So Trump wants to do away with that, but he doesn't want to do away with that for all the reasons that I just said. He wants to do away with that because he doesn't want to have an argument about how much money he's spending. That brings attention to how much money he is about to spend. And he is about to spend a lot of money, don't get me wrong, because his interest right now is not you. It's not getting the prices down for you. It's not getting more jobs or making sure that you have what you need. It's not making sure that your Social Security is taken care of. It's not making sure that your medical debt is not on your report. It is passing another tax cut. You remember the tax cut that I just talked about from 2017, which is what we started feeling in September of 2019? Yeah, he wants to do that again because that was fun. That was fun. He wants the corporations to pay even less in taxes than they already do. And it has already been well documented that people like Bezos don't pay taxes because they even out with their cost versus how much taxes they owe. So they don't actually pay any taxes into the revenue at all. I would venture to say that Elon Musk is almost the same way. Meta, same way. So, but they want another tax cut. And who is going to pay for that tax cut again? People are always asking, who's going to pay for it when it comes to universal health care? Who's going to pay for it when it comes to tuition-free colleges in this country? Who's going to pay for it? That's always the question. And it's always a reason not to get started with it. But when it comes to tax cuts or the defense budget, money grows on trees. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about where the money is going to come from when it comes to cutting taxes and then also putting money into the budget. The party of balancing the budget does not care where the money comes from when it comes to tax cuts, because that is first on their priority list. First, not you, them. That is first. They do not care about you. They cared about you enough to get your vote, and they tricked you into giving it to them. Good job. So Trump's rhetoric has basically, because it's not about us, been tax cuts for the rich, and then the other thing that people said that they really liked about him, no wars. They love the fact that he wasn't getting us into any wars. If you want no more wars, go to Trump. Yeah, how's that working out for you? And we're not just going to wars, guys. We're going to wars with the people that we are aligned with, our allies, our friends, even though we don't have friends, we have interests. But, these are people who we are supposed to be in alliances with. But apparently alliances mean nothing to Trump, to MAGA, to Republicans, and any of his supporters. It means absolutely nothing to them. Greenland, Denmark, Panama, Canada, Mexico, all of them. Those people are on his target, to target first. He didn't even deny that he would send troops into Panama or into Greenland to retake land that isn't ours, that we shouldn't be taking. He didn't say he wouldn't do that. So for the people who wanted no more wars, next on his list of things to do to ruin this country is deportations. Now, that's one campaign rhetoric that he is probably going to do. And it would be one of the worst mistakes that he can do. He is going to deplete our labor force. The people in hospitality, the people in construction, the people who plow our fields. Those are the ones that he's targeting. Those people. And the problem with that is that when he deports those people, and like 50% of them voted for him. So when he deports those people, not if, when, that costs money. And that too will balloon the debt. So we're going to have a problem with our debt because of tax cuts and now because of deportations and because of new wars. So for the people who voted for him because of the economy,